What's up, everybody? This is Kyle Rose, and it has been a while, and I want to talk about a game that is like one of the most addicting games that I've ever played in so long. For the past 3 years, I've been playing like Dragon-Ball FighterZ and Dragon-Ball FighterZ. Oh god, it had a lot of ups and downs throughout the season, and with Dragon-Ball FighterZ nearing its end, after we still got Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 to look at, and honestly I think this is going to be the last season pass or whatever that we're going to have for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I don't think we'll be having any other characters being introduced in Dragon Ball. So what I want to talk about is like the future for Dragon Ball and how this is going to affect the franchise, and what it's going to entail of what we're going to get, and what type of balance patches, what type of things that we're going to have for Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. If there's going to be a story, let's start off with the story. I think when it comes to the story of Dragon Ball FighterZ 2, they can easily go off after Dragon Ball FighterZ, the first one that we're playing now, with the Android 21 saga, and maybe bring her back. I don't know if Bandai wants to bring her back, or Arc Sys Works wants to bring her back. And I'm not entirely so amped for Android 21. I mean, unless for obviously the memes that we will get with her, and a lot of people are just going to literally simp over her throughout the entirety of the internet. So, I mean, if we do have her, expect that. But other than that, I just wish that we would have another villain, a new villain for Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. And honestly, I feel like there might not be another season's pass, but at the same time, it does feel like an upgrade for Dragon Ball FighterZ would be another route. And what I mean by an upgrade, like with Overwatch and Overwatch 2, I feel like Overwatch 2 should have been an expansion pass to Overwatch 1, and it should have been an overhaul of Overwatch 1. I don't think Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 sounds like an appropriate name for like a sequel. I think doing a huge expansions pass of Dragon Ball FighterZ and just like adding more into the game, adding more maps, for example, adding new story, adding all of this, that would be a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2, but pre-packaged into the original game, I think would be an even better route, in my opinion, because obviously, I don't know, I just feel like Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 just doesn't, it's something about the name that doesn't really sit well with me. Like, it's not like it's Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 or Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or whatever like that. It's like Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. It just doesn't roll with the tongue for me. It's just my opinion. But now back to what I want. It's like I want balance patches. Now, when it comes to a good ass balance patch, you already know who the fuck they gotta nerf, and I don't even need to say it. But I just fucking hate people who absolutely I don't even know if I want to play Ultra Instinct Goku. Ultra Instinct Goku is literally the abomination of the entirety of the game mechanics and everything that he does. And this is what a lot of individuals looked at when they analyzed Dragon Ball FighterZ, is that UI Goku is just so damn broken to the point where you can't even I literally try to do a wake up that up tech, and then this man just literally just stared at me in a motherfucking multiplayer match and just pressed square. He didn't even try to block. He didn't even try to crouch. He did nothing but just stood there and just pressed square the minute I got up. I don't understand why Ultra Instinct Goku has to be so broken to that point where you can just stand there, and then the fact that his second light attack in the game actually lets him vanish off the screen for a split second. You can't do anything about that. And what I mean is that when you vanish off of the game, you can't hit him for a split second. So if you're doing something that's let's say 2 to 3 frames or something that's really quick, you can't hit him if it times with him vanishing and coming back to hit you with his second auto combo. And I just feel like they need to change Ultra Instinct Goku immediately. I wish they would change him in this one, but the least that we got was some dumbass, like, they actually buffed Ultra Instinct, if I'm not mistaken. I think they actually buffed him, and they nerfed Roshi. I'm not sure about that, but I think they didn't do anything with Ultra Instinct Goku, that's 100% sure. And they nerfed Master Roshi, and that's, like, to me, the most disrespectful thing you can ever do for, like, your own game. And for your fans to play the game, to continue to play the game, you need to buff, like, not just nerf Ultra Instinct Goku, because I don't think that's the only thing that you need to do. I think you need to actually buff characters that need buffing, like Goku Black and Frieza, for example. Like, those two characters are, like, literally, in my opinion, the worst characters in the game when it comes to certain setups that you do. Like, if you're playing certain characters, for example, you know, obviously Broly can, like, literally armor through his entirety of Frieza's moves, and he can, not only that, he can do the quarter circle back special and just make himself invincible to all special attacks, or to all ki blast or whatever. So it's like, stuff like that should not be that hardcore. Like, something like Broly should not be such a hardcore counter to Frieza. And I feel like Frieza, as much as I don't care for Frieza as a character, I do feel like I'm trying, like, you should be able to balance it out for every Dragon Ball fan. And I think a lot of Frieza fans are upset at the fact that, like, he's literally that useless to the point where he can't, like, most of his setups are spam setups. And even though I don't like spamming, obviously, and like, that's one reason why I don't like the character in the game, because he has a lot of spam setups. But if you're going to try to make him viable, at least change his, in my opinion, I feel like I want to change Frieza's, like, mix-up game. Just like most of the characters in the game, like Kid Buu and stuff like that. But obviously, he's a spammer. So, and that's something that I don't give a damn for. But if you have to, like, buff his spamming, then buff it so that it's some type of, like, hard special property where it can go past certain, like, at least one of his special moves can go past certain, like, barriers, like Broly's barrier with his quarter circle back special. That, like, something has to be done in order to buff Frieza. And if you want to make him a spammer, then you have to make it so that one of his specials at least could have some type of hard property that can, like, cut through most of the properties, counter properties in the game, like Broly's barrier or whatever, or like Dragon Rush, or, you know, even a Kamehameha or something like that. So buffing Frieza in that perspective would actually, you know, it'll give somebody at least an incentive to play him, because there is absolutely no incentive to play him when you can play somebody like Kid Buu or Ultra Instinct Goku or Bardock or Cell, etc. I don't want to go down the list, but yeah, like, and nerfing Ultra Instinct Goku would definitely give us a plus in the game. Actually, let me take that back. I think with buffing a whole lot of characters in the game, because if you buff a lot of characters, right, all those characters are going to go up, and, like, in terms of, like, fan, and go up in tier lists and stuff like that. They're going to be almost as good as UI Goku, and then UI Goku won't need to be a necessity. So I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say, don't nerf UI Goku, but instead buff at least most of the cast that are trash, that are considered trash at least, and that are unviable. Like, you know, I don't know, maybe, I feel like Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue is not trash, but at the same time, like, his mix-up game, I feel like, could be a little bit better when it comes to, like, he does have good mix-ups, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's just like, look at, compare him to base Vegeta, and there's nothing in comparison when it comes to base Vegeta's mix-ups versus Blue Vegeta's mix-ups. And he does have a lot of combo potential, and that's one thing that people don't understand. Like, even though a character has a lot of combo potential, doesn't necessarily mean that that character is viable. Look at Zamasu, and look at even Goku Black to some extent, right? If they hit you and they are able to pull off a swaggy ass combo, like that's only if they hit you, right? So you need to give characters like those a lot of mix-ups in order to hit those combos. Like, look at base Vegeta. He has the swaggiest damage in the game with high mix-up. That's why people like enjoy playing him. Look at Kid Buu, and like every time I play against a Kid Buu, I literally want to off myself. Like, Kid Buu is so annoying as a character to play against, and thank God, like in my level, I'm like in Ultra Instinct sign right now, as in the ranked matches. So in my level, I don't really see a lot of Kid Buus, at least. So thank God I've only seen one like this week, and he was just absolutely obnoxious. Other than that, I haven't really seen much. Ultra Instinct Goku, and that's another thing. I'm gonna make another video about that. I'm not even gonna talk about that. But all in all, in Dragon Ball FighterZ 2, there has to be a lot of good balance changes. Make Goku Black just like one of the best. I'm just like so pissed off at the fact that throughout like past 3 years he's been trash. I just hate that fact. And to me, like, he's my most favorite villain in the franchise, besides Broly. And you know, like, he's like unequivocally the best villain for me. And Broly, and then who was the third? Baby Vegeta. Those three are my favorite, and I just want him to have the same like good properties. I want him to have a good mix-up game, even if he doesn't have good mix-up game. Like, look at somebody like Ultra Instinct Goku and Bardock, who don't even need mix-ups in order to open you up. They have good properties in order to mix you up. Like, he needs to either have really good properties or really good like mix-up game. Like, think about it. If Goku Black had different type of Kamehameha arcs, what I mean by that is like when, you know, Super Saiyan 1 Goku has like Kamehameha in the air, where he can do it in a straight line or downward, in a downward arc. He can also do it like on the ground, upward or straight. So if Goku Black had those type of options, he can mix you up by trying to, you know, zone you out. I feel like Goku Black could be absolutely a good zoner. It's just that most of his kit doesn't make him a good zoner. I feel like when you add in something like instant transmission, he's all over the place. Because Goku Black has to either be a zoner with a lot of Kamehamehas, or a lot of like properties that makes him strong, or mix up god that he can do almost anything. Like, you shouldn't have to rely on something as incredibly hard as a Tiger Knee float mix-up in order to use in a fight to fight like an opponent. Like, because a float mix-up is really hard, and if you don't know how to do it, you can look it up. If you're a Goku Black fan, a float mix-up is basically when you're using floating after an instant transmission to usually you use an assist, but after you use an instant transmission, you could technically float in the air if you do the timing right by doing a down up super jump plus the input that you want to use. And for example, you can use it with actually instant transmission. So if you use instant transmission, quarter circle back up, and you press the instant transmission button, preferably the EX button, so that you can get behind them during an Oki setup, you can actually do a float after the instant transmission, because usually the instant transmission lets you stay in one place throughout the sequence. So it can get you out of that property of the instant transmission and actually make you float in the air. If you don't know what floating is, you need to look that up. So stuff like that is extremely hard to do. It's unpractical because it's not part of Goku Black's normal game plan when he's fighting. So easy enough, but at the same time, it's really hard for like the average casual player. If you're a hardcore Goku Black fan, I would highly recommend you to do that. Other than that, yeah, I just feel like a lot of these characters need to be changed and rearranged and buffed, etc. Because it's just like, these are our favorite characters, you know? People need to have some sort of incentive, and I always wanted Dragon Ball FighterZ to be this type of game where you can play almost any character you want and without any setbacks, with like all of them have their own strength and weakness. but the strength always overcome the weakness. And I feel like depending on what character you pick, I feel like if you was to counter somebody like that, their weakness is going to be either good or bad against the character that they pick, basically, that the opponent picks. So, like, let's say if I'm Goku Black and somebody plays, if I'm Frieza and somebody plays Broly, or like that's a good counter pick to Frieza. But if I play Frieza against somebody that doesn't have good engagement, and he can just spam you over and over again, I feel like that's a good counter to whoever that person will be against Frieza or as Frieza. So that's my thoughts on it. If Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 comes, I just hope that, you know, we get the balances and we get a good story, that it's a different character, a different villain. I like these designs. I love Android 21's design, but I feel like, you know, obviously we need a different story and to have, you know, an interesting character arc, not just make it so lackluster. Make it like Tekken, or not even just Tekken, make it like Mortal Kombat 11. I mean, I feel like Mortal Kombat 11, even though the story was hated on in terms of like the progress and the plot and the characters and how they was all developed, I still feel like Mortal Kombat 11 had really good cinematics, and I feel like it had one of the best endings with Liu Kang versus Kronika, and Liu Kang versus, you know, Shang Tsung in the Aftermath version, or Aftermath DLC. So that is my video. If you like this video, please watch my other videos, and if you like it, just stay subscribed, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. This is Kai Rose. Peace out.